Okay, so we're working on the rock back sit to push forward stand, which means rear paws stay stationary, front paws do the moving. So we're starting in a stand. I'm just going to try and focus in on that. So this looks like a good posture starting, so that's beautiful. I love the T-shape platform position for a stand. I think it's great. The other thing about using this for the rock back sit is because the rock back sit is going to end up, the sit's going to end up on this platform, having it that orientation is going to help get a tight sit left to right, which again, I really like. So let's watch so very nice sit movement. Rear legs stayed stationary the whole time. So let's actually mark it so you can see it. So marking those rear paws so you can see how they don't move with a tiny little step forward, but generally they don't move. But see how we really also, she wants to keep those front paws on the platform. And that is partially because we have built so much value for when we're using a platform, the paws stay stationary. And so that's often why when I'm doing these sitting behaviors, I'll only use a platform for the side that is to stay stationary. Now, I know that can be hard, especially when you need both platforms to have the nice, pretty, perfect posture stand. So it's kind of, there's a compromise that has to happen somewhere. And that's okay. So I'm glad that you keep trying to get that step backwards. So you get the step backwards with the front legs, which is exactly what I want. But you can see you never really get a full sit, because as she's stepping backwards here, you can already see the butt starting to raise. And that is because even though this is, that position that we want, it's too crowded for her. She has not placed her rear feet far enough back to start to allow for the front feet to come in without smushing her spine, her abdomen. It just feels all too compressed. And so that's why we get this movement backwards with the rear legs. And then we sit. So see, what I want you to see here is that this is still the sit position that we want, right? So we're still getting that right triangle. But now we have plenty of space in here between front and rear that she feels comfortable, and you can actually see the spine is much nicer alignment here than it was. So what I want to do is, so let's mark where these feet are on the platform. So the rear feet are halfway, right? So if we draw a line on the platform, marking where it is, they're halfway. So what that tells me is when you're in the stand position, anywhere, if these rear paws are anywhere from this line or back, you're going to have plenty of room to get a full sit on that platform. If the rear feet are from that line or forward, there's not going to be enough room for her to comfortably sit on it. So you need to pay attention to where those rear paws are in the stand. It's not just about, I have a beautiful posture stand. It's about where they are, because we don't want them to move. And if they don't move and they're too close to the forward edge, there's not enough room physically for her to feel comfortable to sit. So that's really what we need to pay attention to. Okay, so let's watch a few more reps and see with that how we do. So see how the rear paws just moved forward? There's not enough space for her to sit on. So one thing you could do, move this platform back a little so there's not as much space in between. that will help her continue to want to target the back half of the other platform. So that's an option for sure. If you're struggling to be able to see where those rear paws are, which it's really hard when you're standing in front to see where those rear paws are. So that's why I use the equipment and constantly adjust the equipment to try and make it better. So now in the stand, we've got a staggered position. This right rear looks like it's pretty good. See how it's still on the blue mark? But this left rear has come forward. So the question is, when you ask for the rock back sit, does this left rear move back or does she bring the right rear forward? If she brings the right rear forward, we're still going to run into that position of there's just not enough space. If she moves the left rear back, then there will be enough space. So she moves the right rear forward, and once again we see she can't quite get on there without scooting back. Okay. So fast forward. Okay, so stand again. Better. So see how the paws didn't really move past that halfway point? I'm going to actually draw a line now as well as those spots because I think it might help. So we've got this line. So anytime those rear paws pass that line, you know you're not going to have enough space. And that one was purely a combo sit because see how those rear paws came in front of the line? So they moved forward. And actually it's more of a tuck sit because the front didn't change even though they angled. So this is a good position. Look at where the rear paws are in regards to the line. She brings them forward, but she does find enough space to sit on, so not bad. That one was definitely close. Okay, so see where these rear paws are? So we're getting steps forward, and I think that's just because, with the lure forward, she's just moving into it. So just be careful. If you see those rear paws step forward as you're luring into the stand, back her up. Because most likely when those rear paws step forward, she's crossing the line. Okay, let's forward through this. Okay, good choice to move the platform backwards. Look where those rear paws are. They're in a good position. Oh, interesting. I wonder, so hang on, let me pull this down because I'm not sure why you got kind of a bulk on the sit for that one because it was starting out so perfect. Okay, so you're moving into her. Oops, am I going backwards? No. Okay, so we're starting in the stand, good position of the paws. You move into her. She's starting to do this sit. Okay, so I'm not sure why you choose then to step backwards. That actually, I would maintain your pressure here forward until she sits. That's going to get you the perfect sit. So just be aware of that. It's actually your stepping away brought her forward again, which then brought those rear paws forward, and now we're a little too close to the edge. See how when she steps backwards, she ends up in the middle, and she's like, ugh, I don't really like that. And those rear paws are in front of that line, so she feels like she can't quite get the paws up there. Okay, so now we're good again with where the rear paws are, and we get the beautiful step back. Look at that. That one was gorgeous. And if we look at our positioning, beautiful, beautiful triangle. So there we go. Okay, rear paws are in a good position. Beautiful stand. So be careful here not to pull her towards you anymore. So see how she takes that step? If you see a step forward, the rear paws are not supposed to move at all. So if they're in a good position, push them back. Like ask for a backup. You step in. You get the sit. Beautiful. Very nice. Good. Very nice. Okay. So I think definitely on the right track here. Hopefully this visual of like how I divided this platform makes sense to you and will help you better know where those rear paw positioning should be. One thing you could do, what I will often do, is now that I know the paws need to be halfway or further back, I might just put a piece of tape across the middle of the platform so it's just really easy for me to see as I'm working. So give that a try, see how that goes. I'm really happy with the progress.